So hey everyone, what actually happened with Bonk token might be pretty shocking because it's down 26%. So why is Bonk token crashing?
You may have noticed that the token has taken a dip, down 26%.
Now, this is the normal correction I was talking about, and we probably knew it was gonna happen at this channel. If you want more content like this, smash that like button, by the way.
There's a lot of people on crypto Twitter, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers here on YouTube are probably panicking right now. You're like wondering, is Bonk dead? Is this the end? Are we ever going to see a pump again? In this video,
and I do think seeing another pump is sustainable for Bonk. The issue is most people bought at the top, especially after Binance listing. How can you sustain that hype? It's very hard to sustain a Binance listing hype. That's why everyone wants to get listed on Binance, is because it's the biggest crypto exchange and people just love it. People love it for that sense, as they make a ton of money when they get a Binance listing exchange.
we're going to compare the Bonk token with the previous historical data that we've seen with Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, what they experienced during their price volatility during these stages. I cannot wait to share this with you because it's actually going to involve charting and analysis. So it should give you some perspective of where you're at in terms of your positioning if you're going to exit or enter into this Bonk token. So with that said, keep in mind this is not financial advice. This is just me educating and informing you of what's going on with the token so that you can make the best investment.
Again, this is like, this drop is completely normal in that sense. It doesn't mean anything. And that's why I'm pretty much worried about it. Like, in a sense, that's why I am not too much, don't have too many issues with it being so down, because I guess kind of a lot of people expected it and a lot of people were worried about this one, and that got me worried also. Like, why is this happening? Why is this not happening? Again, this is normal. It's normal for everyone, and I think people are excited to see more of that in the near future. Like, is Bonk gonna rally? Yeah, there is a high chance it rallies, and I do think a lot of people, they think crypto won't ever rally again. It could, but it really, at what price point is Bonk gonna rally? Is it gonna first crash and then go back up? But it seems like traders and big whales have sold, and I said this on basically my previous video, all the whales, they did sell their own Bonk, worth 1.6 million to Binance. Like, these are the big exchanges that basically sold, said, okay, forget Binance right now, I'm gonna sell. And I think that's the big problem we are seeing right now with Bonk. It's just not many people holding it for that sense, and they have no reason to hold it, and it got a lot of people very frustrated. Like, why is Bonk dumping? These whales that bought it for very cheap are now selling it for a very high price in that matter, and I'm not too worried about that either, and here's why.
We talked about in all of our videos, and this is an event for traders and whales. Now, there was one whale that sold 52.3 billion Bonk tokens valued at 920.
Now that's a lot. That's a lot of Bonk. But it makes you think, like, Bonk is really the token that, like, not everyone can win. Like, I guess it's with all crypto coins, there's going to be some losers. And it's a very good example in that way.
In the Bonk token. And again, these are smart investors that end up taking profit, right? So keep that in mind of what's going on. But you must be wondering, what about the people who bought a Solana Saga phone? Because people who bought that phone roughly around $599.
So that's something I was talking. What happened with the people that bought the phone? Now, didn't, like, Bonk was giving like 3% a day, and I said it's not sustainable. Would it tank the price? I don't think there would be a reason it tanks. Here's why. Let's just assume 20K will claim 30 million Bonk and sell it all. Is equivalent to 15 million of selling pressure. So the max selling pressure will be 1%, 1.5% of daily volume. And I don't think everyone holding their Solana phones will actually sell that, for that matter. They don't necessarily need to sell their own Bonk in a way. So doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be seeing like crypto go down, and doesn't necessarily mean like it's going to crash that way. And that's what keeps me excited at night, basically, that Bonk could still recover, could still rally. And definitely very exciting to see.
They were going to be guaranteed an airdrop around 30 million tokens.
So yeah, it seems like everyone that bought the phone is actually going to get some money, still some profit. And I guess that's nice. Like, everybody loves a decent profit, but it depends how far it can really go, you know? And I do think Bonk can rally in that sense. Like it definitely has a chance of decent recovery.
To be wondering, is that also going to tank the price of Bonk? Well, this person said this: will the Solana Saga Mobile Bonk claim tank the price? I don't think that would be the reason it tanks, and here's why. Let's just assume 20,000 people, which is supposedly what Solana Saga announced, bought the phone, and they claim 30 million Bonk tokens, and all will sell at the very moment that they get it. Well, guess what? That's roughly around 600 billion Bonk tokens that are definitely going to be sold into the market. So once the 600 billion Bonk is to be open sold on the market, it's equivalent to around 15.3 million US dollars of selling pressure. Now keep in mind the current daily volume for Bonk is around 1.
So yeah, it doesn't seem to me that Bonk is going to be crashing for that matter anytime soon. Doesn't really look like it in that way. Like people have been saying that the Bonk crash is underway. No, it's probably not. And I'm definitely excited to hear more about that in that reason. Like what could happen next. So Bonk, definitely a way to go.
1 billion US dollars. The max sell pressure from Solana Saga dumpers will be 1.5% of the daily volume. So keep that in mind. This is something that I think is really interesting. So if you're wondering this is going to tank, basically maybe not. It's equivalent to what we're seeing in the data. Now, I want to share with you how Bonk token stacks against Dogecoin. And
so yeah, I do think the rise has been with Bonk like up there. And I think that's the exciting factor. I think Bonk still has like the potential to actually grow. Like I feel like this is the real excitement in that sense. Like Bonk still has something that others don't, and that is actual buying pressure in a sense. Like it does have some sort of potential to see that next market level rally. And I'm definitely excited for that in a sense that crypto could be going up in the near future. So I'll keep you guys updated with that with more news. So that's something that we are going to be seeing.
Shiba Inu's historical history. Because again, we've seen this dip within Bonk also happen with Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. So let's talk about it. We're going to start with Dogecoin first. So why am I sharing this chart of Dogecoin compared to the USDT? Well, this is right now what we're looking at in terms of how far we can take a dip and how long it takes for us to reach a bull rally. And this is just based on their historical data right here. So right now, we saw that really when the first pump happened for Dogecoin, it literally took 66 days for that token to pump.
So yeah, I do think also like the difference with Bonk, it has a massive problem. Like that has different issues. Potentially, like the real issue I find with Bonk is I don't know how many people are going to be using it in that sense, like are going to be using it for different stuff. And that's the real excitement I find for Bonk. Like there's a lot of potential things that could happen with Bonk in the following days. But with Dogecoin, it really happened like, 2021 actually. And it got Elon Musk to support it. So that's where I think the Bonk might be wrong. Like there's where I think is the huge price difference. Like Bonk doesn't have the support of Elon Musk. Like what kind of support can it have? And it really makes you question like what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how can Bonk improve in the long run.
So basically within those 66 days, they were either selling the token or buying the token, experiencing FOMO, experiencing FUD. 66 days is a long time. Basically, a lot of emotions could be stirring within a person's mind, going back and forth. So it took them 66 days. But know this, when the token actually experienced its first pump, it went down almost 50% over those 60 days. So you can imagine how people were feeling during that time. But after the 66 days happened, guess what? The token pumped. And what did that pump look like? It went up 822%. And then it took another dip. But even that, it took another pump all the way up to around here.
So yeah, people are definitely very worried about this one, like Bonk going down. And I don't think it will. I think there's potential. There's potential for sure in the Bonk token ecosystem. In a sense that Bonk could be surviving in the near future, even more so. Like there's a lot of excitement for Bonk in that way. But the other thing I'm thinking, like, where is Bonk going to go in the future? Where is Bonk going to go from here? And there's really a lot of possibilities, a lot of scenarios in that aspect. So that's what I'm going to keep you updated more with, guys. And Bonk does deserve like that massive rally in a sense. Like it does deserve to see more of that exciting updates that we have been noticing so far. So Bonk, way to go, like did pretty well, is pretty strong, doesn't really have that, you know, type of like bearish sentiment right now, doesn't really say, oh, everything's gonna crash. No, it's not like that. It's actually pretty exciting for a lot of holders. They're pretty content with Bonk, and I do think this is just the beginning, just the start of Bonk in a way. So I'll keep you guys updated. Seems like this one joined the army. It's still a top 50 token. So Bonk might not be crashing in the next few days. And I do think most people realize that it won't crash yet. It will do pretty good. And they're all excited to see that. So if you guys want to be kept more up to date, I'll keep you guys updated on that more. Peace, everyone. The ICP coin was one of those biggest tokens out there, and now it's actually gone back to exploding more, and that's what people are really excited about. Like it's doing good in a way, and if you want more content like this, smash that like button. But it does seem like we are gonna be seeing to more of the content like this, and ICP has been definitely seeing some rising gains, but it's also been one of the biggest drops in history of crypto. And it really makes you think, is these pumps for ICP, Internet Computer Power, or Internet Computer Coin, is it gonna be sustainable? And that's what people are thinking, you know, right now.
Are flooding towards ICP right now, and we're starting to see some exciting growth. We're also seeing herds heading towards meme coins and herds of individuals heading towards BRC20 tokens. Some of these pumps may well be sustainable, but identifying which...
Exactly. So I do think the thing he forgot to mention in this videos is a lot of these coins, they won't survive the next bear market, and they probably will see bigger drops than they're seeing pumps now. And that's the reality. If you like it or not, that's the real thing that's happening behind the scenes for crypto, really. And I am excited in a sense for it. I do think there's going to be more happening in the next few days in the future for crypto industry. But which tokens are going to be seeing potential massive gains? And this is like what he showed right now is massive potential GameFi altcoin predictions.
And you know what that means. It drags the entire market with it, and the small caps do this video. Now, what?
So this is a channel that's basically been exploding because of its editing. He's been showing the gaming market going up, like Aquilon, Prime Foundation, a gaming ecosystem, Power Parallel, and TGC with Beyond Prime. Then you have Epic Prime Marketplace. Epic offers an NFT platform. Now, the reason why I'm worried about this one, working with AA gaming companies. Now, what are exactly the AA gaming companies is my question. And the reason why I'm kind of worried for this one is NFTs. NFTs haven't been that popular. And how can they make NFTs popular again is the big question. Like, how can they make it awesome again? I think that's where the real issue arises for a lot of these projects. Like, maybe it will work, and maybe it just won't work in a sense. So that being said, it does seem like crypto is just getting started in the right direction, really. And one of those problems is a lot of these gaming tokens, they need a huge supply of user base, and gaming finance is now being used a lot. Like, all these were used a lot in 2021. So if we look at here, the global mega market,
$1 billion.
So this seems like Steam here. PC release for Steam is like, this is in billions, or basically like, look at how much GTA 5 made. Look at how much GTA made, actually, not just GTA 5.
GTA 5's release back in 2014. And you can see that it's pretty much making more money than box office revenue from all movies. And in my free Telegram, which is linked down below, I've been sharing some information on this recently. Back in 2021, you can see that Bitcoin basically was in a very, very similar structure to where it is now. And then from this area, which is where I think we are roughly right now, it literally exploded and did around 300%. Why?
So yeah, we saw a huge pump in crypto overall, and we saw like here Photo Finish Live. All these projects have a ton of potential. The reason why I'm a bit worried is like a lot of people like these projects. So GameFi token price prediction is like a lot of these So CoinMarketCap seems like to be
like a cup of coffee, okay? And this is what's cool about it. I click on this, I then select that I'm in, let's say, Slovenia, and then I come back to Orca, I hit refresh, and now we're in the money, we're working. Now this won't work with MetaMask, because MetaMask is Ethereum chain, as you know, in the game.
So this is what a lot of people are playing right now. I want to see how this performs in the long term, if there's going to come like some competition about this. Like at this point, we could be seeing basically anything really. And I think a lot of people are worried in that sense, like more about that pretty much later on. Like, is crypto gonna go up? Is it gonna go down? That's the big question people have. And I do think a lot of these gaming tokens have a big problem with like, the only reason like these tokens are performing so well is because, well, there's a lot of users. If there's no users, there's no money to be made. And if the market's going up, then the users come in. So the users are a big factor of how you can get these tokens up. And gaming finance, basically making money playing video games, is a big factor if it's a bull run. Just look at Axie Infinity. It saw a huge bump, then it saw a huge drop. So if you guys want more content like this, smash that like button. So what's the biggest problem with Bonk? It grew too fast, it grew too high. What's happening, everyone? Be sure to smash that like button if you haven't already, because this time we're going to be looking at Bonk and why exactly it's down and why exactly this is not that much of a problem. Now, Bonk has been slowly decaying in a sense. It has been slowly seeing some price crashes, and that isn't that much of a bad thing. Like, obviously not. It's still pretty damn good. Bonk saw huge hits, but the Binance listing made a lot of whales sell. And I'm not saying this is a FUD. If you want more content like this, be sure to smash that like button. But seems like I did warn people about this, and I was very much correct. I did not make this up, and because I have seen the same with Shiba Inu. And I know a lot of you guys there, you're pretty new to crypto, maybe discover crypto this year, maybe even last year if you were really lucky in 2022, but not 2021. And people who are buying Bonk don't realize that whales sold at the Binance listing. They sold at the peak, and obviously we're going to be seeing this correction. Now, I don't know if it's going to pull back. I personally don't think it's going to pull back, because it obviously depends on the macro markets. And right now the macro markets are basically, hey, crypto might not perform well because the stock market isn't performing as well. So 168,000 sold at this price levels. That's basically a crazy amount of money. That's 168K. He sold 8 billion of Bonk. Oh, God, that's bad. That's really bad for Bonk holders, because this money had to come from the community pool when he sold. And I don't think a lot of people were happy to hear that, really, that Bonk was sold in a sense. I do think it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great. And I do think people don't like that. People really didn't like that in a sense. But that does not mean that Bonk is gonna, be a bad investment for a lot of people. I do think Bonk has great potential. In a sense, Bonk still has great possibilities happening in the near future. So that's something I'm excited to hear. But Bonk right now is not going to be seeing like all-time highs, because to get like those all-time highs, to see like, how can you actually see those all-time highs again? Now, it's not that simple. You have to see that crypto needs to rise up on major levels. And that is basically said for all cryptos alike. So it seems like if you want to see Bonk grow rapidly, you do need to see more than just the Binance listing, the Crypto.com listing. So what more can Bonk provide other than what it already has right now? And I think that's why a lot of people are really worried about Bonk, because it doesn't have much to provide right now. And it probably won't provide much right now, in a sense, because it cannot. What can it prove? So right now, like, what I'm seeing is Bonk, it could be one of those big tokens, it could be one of those small tokens in a sense, but I do think Bonk does have still that potential. It does still have those price levels that keep people on the bay, that keep people excited, and I think that's why a lot of people are staying in that sense with Bonk for the long term. But what do you guys think about this? I think personally, Bonk could be seeing such an actual life improvement update. Like maybe they could develop something that would see Bonk coming back to all-time highs. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people really excited in that sense. But to see that, Bonk does need to provide a lot more than just, well, existing. And that's the big problem right now with this token. So do I think Bonk has more chances? Yeah, for sure. It does have more chances to actually see those price levels rise, but it also needs to show something that hasn't been shown before. So maybe a huge partnership with the tier 1 exchange, and Binance is one of the biggest ones. And I think that what really worries me in a sense. Like, if Binance is the biggest, which exchange is next? Which exchange is gonna like see the major price levels? And that I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure which exchange could provide that in a sense. Like, there could be plenty of exchanges in the level that could be improving, but I'll keep you guys updated on this one as well. Until next time, peace everyone. Let's really talk about today about ICP's massive growth. And if you guys want to see more content like this, smash that like button if you haven't already. But you gotta look at the big picture here. ICP has been one of the biggest losers in 2021, and now it's a 20% gain, 200% gain. And this is usually what happens with some tokens. So does ICP have the potential? Like, this is the people have been saying, you know, right? This guy's saying the clowns that have been shouting all year that ICP is a scam are now changing their shoes on the fly and shouting they have always believed in ICP. And people were really upset about ICP because it went from $420 to $5. I'd definitely be upset if that happened to my crypto, like basically becoming non-existent. And you got to look at the big picture. Is this like growth big? Like, even if you look at 1 year, it's definitely bigger than last year. So it more than tripled. Just like all other tokens, I think this is a great opportunity. I do think, however, there's one simple problem, and that is ICP could be seeing like this huge pump, but it's still far from its all-time highs. And, you know, my friends always tell me, don't matter about the future, always think about the present, you know, and that's the most important thing. So will the ICP holders profit from this? That's my question. I think you deserve to know. I think it's a very important question in a sense. So that's how I'll keep you updated. But that being said, does seem like crypto is gonna be going up in the near term in a good way. Exactly how we are seeing right now. But I do think what we need to see with ICP is like some massive approval, because the reason why it's been going up so much is because it's been so much down. Like, of course, people are going to buy it if the all-time high was $420. ICP was like $38, $64, even in the peak of 2021. They're kind of expecting ICP to go back in a way. And that is what people are on the edge really excited about. Like, that's what keeps people at bay, that ICP could be growing in the near future even more than before. And I do think there's a massive potential in that sense for ICP. I do think there's more chances for ICP to see major growth, but I do want to see like what exactly ICP is performing in the following days. So it's definitely not over for it, and it still hasn't begun. And when people talk about the ICP coin, they really talk about where it's gonna be on the long term. So in the long term, ICP could definitely be seeing steady growth. But in the short term, I don't even know. Like, ICP could be seeing all sides in that sense. And that's what really keeps me excited. And it's the potential of not knowing. So I know I might not make a lot of sense here, but let me just make you some key points about ICP right now. The reason why people are buying is a very simple rule, and that is because it's so cheap. If it's cheap, they want in. It's far from its all-time highs, and we don't know how much it will grow, and they're buying on the promise it will be $60 again. So about 6x of its potential. Maybe some people even bought it for cheaper, and that's what keeps people excited. That's what keeps me excited in a way, and that's what keeps everyone like really hyped up about this. But does it mean it could grow that much again? Like, people were calling it the biggest scam of 2022, 2021. It's one of the biggest losers. Some can't take the heat, to be honest, neither could I. That's why I staked for 2 years. This way, I don't have the option to sell. So I do think there's a huge supply of people who will be selling as near as they bought it at the lowest. You know, even if they bought it at $6, they might be selling at $11. So if they bought 10K at $5, they might be selling it for 20K at $11. So let that just sink in. There could be a huge supply of these holders, really, that are still into crypto, that are still exercising their right to buy this token. And it's a very scary thought that ICP might never recover to all-time highs. But I'll keep you guys updated with more news on that. Be sure to smash that like button, and peace everyone.